Thousands of United Auto workers are on the picket line right now in a strike with revolving targets. It's not the traditional approach that we have seen the UAW take in strikes over their history. So what does the end goal really look like, and will this strategy pay off? I'm joined now by Cornell University's Director of Labor Relations, Art Waiton. Thank you so much for being here, Art.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yes, the UAW strike really ramped up in recent days. It includes 38 parts distribution facilities. The Detroit Free Press is reporting now a total of more than 18,000 workers at 41 facilities across 21 states are on strike. So, I'm wondering, how quickly do you think this escalation will hurt the automakers?
It starts to hurt the automakers almost immediately because it really hurts their number one customer, which is the dealerships. So these parts distribution centers are all waiting on these parts to fix the cars for the people who have already purchased them. So now you're getting pressure not only from the UAW, but also from General Motors and Stellantis primary customers, the dealerships, and then their customers, you and I, who buy the vehicles.
Oh, yeah, so it can add up quickly. Do you believe this strategy will get the UAW closer to what they're demanding in a new contract? They have a list. They want higher wages. They want a shorter work week. What do you think is really realistic here?
I think it's realistic to get improvements in their collective bargaining agreement. I don't think you ever go into bargaining expecting to get everything you're asking for. So I don't think they're expecting to get the 32-hour work week, and I don't think they will get all of the changes that they want for their pensions and their retiree health care. But I think they should get big wage increases and other improvements.
Yeah, which is likely their strategy. What do you think of their strategy right now, though? Do you think that this is a winning strategy so far? It's pretty ambitious, striking all three automakers at once.
It's very ambitious, and so far it's been successful because the offers that they had a couple days before the contract expired on September 14th are half of what they are now. So now the automakers, all three of them, have more than doubled their wage offer, and Ford has gone the furthest in trying to improve the offer. So they did not have an escalation in the strike. Their parts plants or their parts distribution centers are still open. Whether it works or not, it remains to be seen. But what it does is it means they're only paying strike pay for less than 20,000 UAW members, yet they're impacting all three automakers.
Now, I remember covering the 2008 UAW strike. The union made some concessions back then. The automakers were trying to survive amid the recession. So some workers took buyouts at that point. There were cuts. Also, the auto bailout happened. Which concessions do you think the UAW is trying to recoup from 15 years ago? Anything within the list they've released, or do you think there's more?
I think the biggest one they're trying to get back from that list is the COLA, the cost of living adjustments. And from what I understand, Ford has that on the table, that Ford is going to reinstate that cost of living. I think that's the biggest one. What most people don't remember is some of these changes were forced by the United States government, so that they said, if you want this bankruptcy financing, which Ford did not take and did not file bankruptcy, then you must change your wage structure to be closer to the non-union plants. So instead of having the union plants set the wages across the auto industry, it was the non-union plants, the UAW, were forced to go down to in exchange for the bankruptcy financing money.
Now, the UAW's membership peaked at 1.5 million back in 1979. It's really fallen since then. They have more than 400,000 active members, according to their website, and 580,000 retirees today. Do you think that that has significantly diminished their bargaining power in this situation, where they're also fighting for, power against AI to take over some of their jobs?
I don't think the AI is the biggest issue here, but yeah, it does hurt your bargaining power. Labor density, or the percentage unionized, makes a huge difference. And if you go back to 75, they had close to 90% of the vehicles sold in the U.S. were made by the UAW. Now you're down under 50%. So it makes a huge difference on your strength at the bargaining table if you can't force the Hondas, Toyotas, Kias, and a long laundry list of other car companies that are non-union here in the U.S.
All right, definitely a lot to watch here on the picket line. Really appreciate your time, Art. Thank you so much for joining us here on 21 News at 5.
My pleasure.